One of the things I don't like about a lot of the double under drills, the ones that involve that kind of thing, is just I don't like feeling like a land-based seal, and it just I don't like that style. And the ones we do is not those, and so I'll show these, and also the triple unders are pretty easy to get once your double unders are pretty decent. And I've seen one of the guys recently went from struggling with double unders for a couple of years to doing these drills, and within a couple of months he was able to do about 30 to 40 in a row, and in another month or two, and he actually got his triple unders as well, because it's about practicing it, not so much anything else. So I'll do it barefoot too, just because I can, and because if I mess up, then I'll be in more pain, and hopefully I'll catch that on video and somebody will laugh, or at least I'll laugh at myself later. So first thing we want to do is we just want to do 20 single unders. And I'm not going to do all 20, but you get the idea. And so if you do the double hop, that's one of the things I can't do. But if you know somebody tells you that you're double jumping, the easiest solution to that is start here, hands in front, rope behind the knees, and just swing the arms down and around, jump one time, and as soon as you land, just don't move. And then you do that again, and that's it. And again. And once that's easy enough, you can go ahead and try doing one jump slow, two jump slows. Once that's done, usually I like to put my rope down too in between. So this way I'm not holding it too tight, because otherwise we can start kind of getting frustrated and the grip starts getting tighter. And then once we get that tightness and frustration, it's very hard to keep pushing forward in kind of a nice relaxed mindset. So the next step we're going to do is run in place. So start with your hands in front, knee up, kind of bend the knee on the other side. And if you're really bad at it, just swing the rope around, land on the other side, and stop. And then stop. And then if you can, just go from one step to, guess what? 2 steps. And you just go 1, 2, and stop. But if you're okay with it, just run in place for 30, 40, 50 steps, something like that. And there's an intermediate drills that, if you're really struggling with the double unders, I would suggest you do it, but you don't strictly have to. So this one is a 5 single unders, 1 high single under, repeated 5 times. And so you go like this. And so if you miss, it doesn't matter, you just got a couple more. And so the idea here is you do 5 regular single unders, and then you do 1 high jump single under. And it actually is the reverse of doing a double, because it teaches you how to slow down rather than to speed up in a double under. But the main important point is that we are able to adjust our cadence. We are able to not just do singles only, because people come all the time and ask, hey, I can do singles all day. Why can't I do a double under? Well, it's just because it's a different skill. And so they're not, and if anything, sometimes doing too much of one thing negates the other, just like saying, I run marathons, I'm in shape, why can't I squat a lot of weight? Well, it's different things. So let's do the next step. So now that we've done the singles and the run in place, and if necessary, the high singles, we're going to do 3 sets. We're going to do 5 single unders, 1 double under, attempt. Doesn't have to be successful, just an attempt. And then we're going to do that 5 times. So, and the 5 singles doesn't have to be that strict. I don't really count it. Just make sure it's more than 3 or 4. We don't want to go 1 single, 1 double attempt, 1 single, 1 double, because that's a huge, huge, huge waste of time. And it's one of the harder skills I found to undo. So don't fall into that trap. And what I mean is, don't go. That's just like if you're running, but you run 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. You're getting somewhere, but it's a giant waste of time, and it's far more efficient to just learn the thing the correct way. So we're going to do 5 singles, attempt to double, attempt to double. And so if we attempt all the doubles, I guess I'm jumping back out of the shot, If the double unders are successful, just like I did, then the next step we're going to move on to 5 single unders and 2 double unders in a row. And that's really where, once you can do that, that's when you start really skyrocketing forward. But if the first set looked more like, you know, that's actually missing on purpose with bare feet is not a bright idea. Or even if it's just like something where like you are tempted, but nothing really changes on the outside world other than your intention to do a double under and it immediately causes you to trip. That's fine, it's an attempt. It's not a great or successful one, but it's an attempt, and that's all we count in here. So you're gonna do 5 singles, 1 double attempt, 5 times. And so if it's successful, where there's no breaks whatsoever on single or doubles, we're gonna move on to the next one. If it's broken up even once, we're gonna just do the same thing again and try to get it better, and then we're gonna try the same thing again because we're gonna do 3 sets total. And what we're gonna do now is, so since mine was unbroken, I'll go ahead and go do 5 singles, 2 doubles, 2 doubles, and so if I can get all 10 double unders, 5 singles, 2 doubles, 5 times, unbroken again, then I move on to my final set, which is 5 single unders and 3 double unders. And it's the same thing, I'm not even gonna try to do it just because. And if I mess up on the 5 and 2, I stay there. So it's a little convoluted to explain, but basically, you move forward amongst those 3 sets if the previous set is unbroken. And it's perfect. And if it's not, then we just stay on the same set. And if you make your last set perfect, the 3rd set unbroken, you do not do the 4th set. You just wrap up for the day, and that's all there is. So it's like a 5-step or 6-step process. So single unders to warm up, run in place to warm up, then high single unders. If you need to or not, just play with it. Usually with the people at the gym, I'll see who I recommend it to and who I don't. And then 1, 2, and 3 sets of actual double under practice. And that's all there really is to it. And it works really well. In between 2 to 6 months, that's the general application. 2 to 3 or every day of the week, practice it. Just be mindful that if you're practicing very frequently, and there might be some kind of issues with your knees or ankles, because we don't want to overload. Going from not jumping at all to a lot of jumping can cause overuse injuries, and we don't want to do that. Like for me with triple unders, like I got to be mindful of that. I can do CrossFit all day long for 4 years, but then I'll play basketball, and because I try to dunk a little too much, then my knees will hurt for a week. And I've noticed that with triple unders, the same thing happens. So now, how do we go that we got the double unders? How do we go to the next level? So the next step is the same exact idea, and that's exactly what I've done to develop my triple unders, is we go, and we can do, I think I'm going to regret this too with bare feet, but we can do single, 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 triple, so 5 singles, 1 triple attempt, and do that 5 times. And let's try that and see how bad of an idea that would be. So almost, but I'm a little apprehensive here. So I'm turning over the 2 and the 3rd one, the sketch and under. But that works, and in shoes, that's how I got mine. But that's not how I like to practice anymore. So this is, instead I like to do the kind of step it up, all of it a notch. So we're gonna go from single double to now we're gonna be 5 doubles and 1 triple. And because the double is already faster, the triple is a little bit more reasonable. So let's try that. Oops, same thing. So that's 1 attempt, not successful, but it goes. So same thing here. Might have to put the shoes on for this, I'm a little careful. So, and that's the idea, but that's how you go ahead and do it. I think that was a pretty bad idea to do it barefoot. I feel kind of bad, because I'm kind of wussing out and putting the shoes on, but I've been practicing the double unders barefoot and so forth for a while, so I don't really want to walk away limping from here too much, but Maybe I should practice. Anyways, so for the triple under, we're going to go double, 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 triple. So let's see how this goes in shoes. But yeah, so that's the idea. It does get your heart rate going a little bit though, first thing in the morning. So we're doing doubles and then straight into triples. This one is the one unbroken. I'm gonna give it a shot and do the doubles into two triples, doubles into two triples. See how it goes. It's usually the one I do struggle with a little bit, and also it starts going into that kind of range where my knees don't necessarily love it too much. So I'll play it by the ear and kind of see how it goes. Let's see what happens. Let's try this. So let's go. All right, so I got one. I got the second one I messed up, so let's try one more. So once you got your regular double under drills and you're doing your 50 or 100 in a row, and then you're practicing triple unders or not, like it's not, if you don't care, you don't care. It's one of those things that doesn't really matter too much. And people say that triple under is a party trick. Sometimes when they talk about double under being a party trick, but I wouldn't want to go to those parties where those are the tricks. Speaking of those kind of parties, then the jump ropers, the official way to carry jump rope is like this. Not a piece of advice I don't think anybody really needs, but there you have it. So the drills that I do, because the other ones, they're not long, they're 5 minutes a day. But if you've put in your work, you can shorten it to some extent. And I find that every 6 months or so, when I haven't done double under practice at all, other than maybe here and there during classes, this is what I've kind of do. Basically, I combine all the drills into one. And so we're going to go and do about 20 singles. I'll do a few less here. Then we'll run in place for a little bit. And then we do doubles. And 2 doubles. And 3. I think that was 4, maybe 5. And then 5 or so. And then it kind of goes into triple, and I might do a couple more triple attempts. And usually 2 or 3, and that's it, and I put it away. And that keeps enough momentum for me to maintain about sets of 100 in a workout if I'm somewhat fresh, and maybe sets of 50, 80, and miss it here and there. Man, the allergies, I can't really breathe that well, and the double unders are no problem, but the triples do really take it out of me, and it's end of March. So, yeah, there we have it. The triple under drills. And I'll go now over a few bonus items. Alright, so I got myself a little list on my Russian iPad. A few kind of tips. When you jump in, do try to keep your hands in. We don't want to be here whipping, so right there is better. That's where a lot of the double under, single under practice and the running in place comes in handy, because you can focus on doing that. And that's where doing all those single unders, the 5 or so in between, and maybe even more, as long as it's not less than 5, really helps out, because then you can relax. The other thing that it helps out, if you're doing the 5 and 1, 5 and 1, after each one, usually people, when they do it first, they go here, and then they try another one, and they're still in this position. So doing that 5 single unders, you kind of end up going, boom, open up. So by the time the new attempt happens and you collapse again into it, you get the time to extend. And eventually you just stay fairly upright. But at first, having those single unders in room is crucial. So number 2, let's actually talk about next. So the rope length. The way to check the rope length that you want is over 1 foot, and make sure it can slide under that foot. And then we're going to go pull it to the shoulder. So start with at least the rope being to the shoulder and jump a few times. Feels too long, make it shorter, make it to like the armpit. If that's still too long, then maybe make it to like the nipple line or so. And I don't personally, it can be done even shorter to almost like the sternum here or whatever, the serratus, but that's a little like too long for me. I can do it if I'm fresh and I'm really trying to go hard, and it's actually fantastic for triple unders, but in the middle of a workout when you're fatigued, there's a slight breakdown of technique, just a marginal, but this is starting to get pretty precise, whereas this I can still get away with and not having issues. So play with the length, but over 1 foot, don't pull it across, don't pull it like that. Top of the handle, top of the shoulder. But armpit is probably about where I would, majority of the time people start, and it feels pretty good. And you learn right away to keep your hands in, because any wider with the rope that short, it won't work. So the next one, learn to smile. As you learn in this whole process, don't stop doing the double under drills until you can jump rope, and just grin like an idiot the whole time, because that means that now we can pull attention away from the actual skill practice towards something else. And all that really means is we're going from just learning how to do it to actually doing it rather well, and then mastering it. And then once you can do it with no subconscious thought, it's pretty much automatic. That's what we want to do. Don't practice till you're just barely not whipping yourself same way. You don't learn how to ride a bike to the point where you're just not falling off it, or swimming to the point where you're just not barely drowned. You want to push that through just a little bit further, so this way it's a skill. Like I haven't practiced triple unders now in 6 months, and they're still there for me. They're harder because I'm not practicing them, but they haven't gone away. Same way if you haven't ride a bicycle for a year, you're going to get on and maybe get a little wobbly at first, but it'll come back pretty much immediately, and that's the beauty of the skills. The next one is let go of your expectations. Everybody's going to learn skills at their own pace. You'll pick up certain skills faster, you'll pick up certain skills slower. It just, some people are fantastic with people and children, and they suck at double unders and not coordinated. Double unders are relatively easy for me, but God forbid I have to deal with people too much. So it's just one of those things where we all have things, so it'll take as long as it'll take. The point is, set up the process, practice diligently, and try to pull back on the process. That's why I say put the rope down in between so you're not holding on and that tension builds. And then also don't be a redneck. Don't try to fix your double unders until they're broken. Do your 5 sets every single day, or 6 if you're doing the high singles, and put it away. You're having a good double under day, you do your 5 sets, the singles run in place and 3 sets of doubles, you hang the rope up. You're having a bad double under day, you do your 5 sets, you put it away. You're having an average day, do your 5 sets, put it away. Become very robotic with learning the skills. Double unders, in my opinion, is the most important skill because there's very little to it. There's no strength component, there's a little bit of coordination. And you can learn a lot about yourself and how you learn, and then apply that knowledge later on to handstands, snatching, building better relationship, business, life, whatever you want to apply it to, because it's self-learning. You learn a lot about yourself when you learn in just a pure skill like that. And it's crucial. I can't stress the importance of it enough with it, but I don't want to go too far into it because it'll turn into a half an hour at least video about the importance of double unders as a skill. And do the double unders practice. Hopefully that helps. And hopefully you don't look like you've been whipped. Take the 3 to 6 months, which is average, to learn them well, learn them once. Forget about it, be good at them, move on to other, greener pastures, maybe do some handstands or something like that, because that's relatively easy to do.